Hello, this is CurtisCroweThePhotoPro here to talk about a Lightroom tutorial for you. Today we're going to talk about sharpening and how to do it. Now, a little disclaimer before we start, not all photos should be sharpened as much as we're going to sharpen this one, but because there's such a rough texture, I'm going to go pretty heavily on the sharpening tool today. So what we have here is a photo of a rhino. As you can tell, rhinos have some pretty rough, dry skin on there that can actually look pretty good when it's sharpened and really make a photo pop. So we're going to go ahead and zoom out, and I'm going to apply a few things to the photo that will darken the sharpened areas a little bit more, such as clarity and contrast. So we're going to start off, I like to go low on contrast. Just start off low. We can always boost it up. Clarity on a person, I normally go anywhere between 8 to 20, but because this is such a rough looking creature, we're going to go a bit higher, and I might even go higher than that. There we go. Let's start with that because I like how the horn looks with the extra clarity, and I like how it's really dark in the low lights here and really added some of that texture in there. And I feel like the image is a little dark, so we're just going to brighten it up. Let's go a half a step for now. We can always adjust it later. And that'll help pull out some of the detail as well. So we brighten the image and we darken the darken. So that's going to add a little bit more contrast naturally through the photo. A little bit more boom. And we want boom because this skin is pretty freaking awesome and detailed. So let's go ahead and use the sharpening tool. If you go under detail here, you'll see it under this category here. It's just under split toning and just above lens corrections. So as you look here, we have sharpening, amount, radius, detail, masking. And we're going to start with the amount, and we're going to really raise that up. Now, be conscious of both the little zoomed in window here and the not so zoomed in window here as we sharpen. Do you see that? That's really starting to look a little rough, and I think we're too sharpened at this point. I mean, it does look pretty actually awesome right here, but we're going to take it back a little bit, and we're going to add some radius to it. Now, if you look here, I'm going to show you the absolute lowest value and the absolute highest value to kind of show you the extremes of it. This will help give your mind an idea when you're trying to find a spot in between where you really want to be on that scale if you know what the minimum and the most look like. So I want to be pretty high on that scale because I want as much detail as possible in this situation. Now, if this was a person, this would be completely different because I'm not trying to show every imperfection in the skin. I'm not trying to show every blemish. I'm not trying to sharpen any wrinkles. I am trying to usually do the opposite, sharpen the eyes while still smoothing the skin out. So this does not apply if you're doing this to a model. Learning the tool can help you find the right spot for you, because if you know how the tool works and you go to apply it to your own work, even though you're learning how to over exaggerate it, if you can tailor it back to your photos after you've learned the fundamentals of the sharpening tool, then you can do this on any kind of photography, modeling, people, animals, still lifes, anything you want. So now here is the most important tool. It's called the masking tool. A lot of people don't understand the masking tool very well. So what it does is basically it erases some of the smoother areas of the photo so it doesn't have to sharpen those areas. And if I hold down the Alt button, you're going to see some of the headings here change when you hold down that button. And we're going to go ahead and left click and drag. Now you're going to see the photo turn white, and it's going to start coming back in. Now the dark areas represent the areas that are not being sharpened, while the white areas represent the areas that are being sharpened. So in this photo, we want a lot of that detail in there, but we don't want the background to be necessarily super sharpened. So if we do that, that's going to bring a lot of the sharpening detail to the most predominant areas that need to be sharpened. This way, some of his skin that's a little bit smoother don't necessarily get sharpened as much, and the background will not get sharpened as much. So now if we look at his horn, we can really see a lot of detail in there. And I'm loving the image so far. And when you zoom out, you can see so much detail. I mean, if I get a print of this, I would be able to get my face right up into the print and really zoom in my own eyes, and I would be able to see every little detail here. And that's the look I want. I want it to be super sharpened because of the characteristics of this individual animal's skin. So I hope that gives you a better idea of how sharpening works. Again, don't use these exact values on everybody or everything. These are the values that I'm using for this video for this particular photo because I feel like this is what really makes this photo pop. If you'd like to leave a comment or like this video, ask me to do one of a person's face, I would be more than happy to, so you can get a better idea of what values work better for people. But if you want that, leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and request that from me, and I will be more than happy to oblige. Anywho, this has been Curtis Crowe, the Photo Pro, and as I always do, toodles.